Welcome everybody to the Cinema Scumbags. For your consideration, Oscar picks. Basically what this video is going to be me being as objective as possible to all the Best Picture nominations from this year, explaining why each film is nominated for Best Picture best I can, the best I can understand. Not everybody can get to every film that's been nominated this year, so this is going to be kind of a cheat sheet as to objectively why I think each movie is nominated for Best Picture. All the films nominated are fine in their own way. And down below, go ahead and let me know what you think of all these films. Now starting off, the Academy has the opportunity to pick from 6 films to 10 films for Best Picture. This year they picked 9. So with one extra spot available, there were some snubs. A couple I can think of off the top of my head: Silence for one, Sully. I know for a lot of people, Deadpool may be on that list, as surprising as it sounds. So it raises some questions as to why, I guess, they would leave a spot open. But the Academy is a silly bunch of people and they make mistakes. So I'm just gonna go down the list alphabetically and let's get right into it. Up first, we have Arrival, directed by Denis Villeneuve, starring Amy Adams, Forest Whitaker, Jeremy Renner. You know, I used to not be that much of a fan of Amy Adams, but I'm really starting to come around to her. To be quite honest, she was snubbed this year, not only for Arrival, but for Nocturnal Animals. I feel like she should have been nominated for at least one of them, but you know, I'll keep saying that. Everybody will keep complaining about why somebody wasn't nominated, and really it just comes down to there's only 5 options. There's a lot of talent out there, you can only fit 5 people in. Arrival, yeah, it's a very smart film, but somewhat pretentious. You know, it's not another mindless sci-fi film, but one with quality, one with themes that ask big questions. What I feel like this film was put together as more of a test for Denis Villeneuve, and maybe for practice for his next big sci-fi venture, which is Blade Runner. The cinematography's great, and if it's anything like Arrival, it's gonna be in good hands. Next up we have Fences, directed by Denzel Washington, starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. Fences is a masterclass of performances. It's a cast that understands the material, the characters. While it's nothing groundbreaking, it relies heavily on enthralling performances, illustrating the hardships of the Black community. It's taken from the Pulitzer Prize winning play by August Wilson, and the screenplay for the most part is unchanged, which is kind of where my issue is. It felt too much like a play. Viola shines, and she deserves every bit of credit and award that she's getting right now. Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson, starring Andrew Garfield, Vince Vaughn, Sam Worthington. This was my personal favorite of the year, not only of this year, but of the past couple years. And it's really a good example why biopic films are great. You get to learn about these amazing real-life people that you would have never known about otherwise. This is Mel Gibson's comeback, which is so good to hear. Love Mel Gibson. And a film that makes Vince Vaughn and Sam Worthington seem like actual actors with some talent. It's beautiful and brutal. The Private Ryan comparisons are as true as it gets. The terror and the sheer viciousness of war has not been portrayed this realistically since, and it perfectly counteracts the character buildup and the character development from the first half of the movie. It's a perfectly executed anti-war film that will go down as one of the best ever. Hell or High Water, directed by David Mackenzie, starring Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. Talk about coming from nowhere. A great example of a modernized Western that works. Mindless gunplay is replaced with the thrill of a cat and mouse hunt that's well paced, well acted, and well shot. Characters are actually really well developed, and the story is fresh in a way that usually plagues a film of this genre. One of those rewatchable films that does well at not becoming monotonous. Any movie that can make Chris Pine seem like a decent actor deserves some praise. Hidden Figures, directed by Theodore Melfi, starring Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe. It's the first example on this list of an important film, one that celebrates the overlooked contributions from an important and divisive time in American history. While interesting and compelling for the most part, it is a crowd pleaser. Not many risks are taken, and it feels all too empty of any real characterization at times. But for a film about a truly despicable time in American history, it's genuinely heartwarming to see the contributions of some very talented individuals finally recognized. La La Land, directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. the magical and somewhat self-indulgent musical about showbiz. Crazy to think of a musical working in this day and age. And it's a complete love letter to cinema from the golden age. It's even shot in CinemaScope. Really well made with likable characters that really represent anybody watching that's ever had a dream. Catchy song and dance numbers, fantastic cinematography, and really inspired direction. It was hard to imagine Chazelle topping Whiplash in scale and quality, and he did. Lion, directed by Garth Davis, starring Dev Patel, Rooney Mara, and Nicole Kidman. This one caught me by surprise. A story of the uplifting variety with a cast of the talented variety make this film incredibly interesting. Dev Patel proves to be an actor to be taken serious and not just that Indian character throw-in. I couldn't help to feel though that there was something missing, mostly from the second half of the film. But the intrigue of the story and the performances by the actors allow the film to stand on its own as a great piece of film by a first-time director. Manchester by the Sea, directed by Kenneth Lonergan, starring Casey Affleck, Michelle Williams, and Lucas Hedges. Man, what a fucking force of a film. One of the best and most naturally written and acted films I've seen, if not in a long time, then ever. The performances are astounding and downright heartbreaking, which puts the film in a place of its own, letting the audience know that not everything ends happily. A film that relates to anyone and everyone. A subject that everyone deals with in one way or the other, the subject of death. What I really loved was there were still surprises left after the trailer as to why Affleck's character was the way that he was. It's an emotional journey and one that's long enough to watch the characters grow and develop. Moonlight, directed by Barry Jenkins, Mahershala Ali, Naomi Harris, and Janelle Monáe. Another film that is so important to the time and place that we are in our society. It's all about the performances, and this one's no sitter. To be able to have a character played by 3 different people and make it work, impressive. My one issue is I would have been really happy with an even longer film, one with more character growing to really show and develop Chiron into who he really is. The film is very personal and very well acted and directed, and lives in a fictional world that parallels real-life issues that we deal with today, and does so in such a graceful and beautiful way. Alright everybody, that's just a little bit of a rundown of all the films nominated for Best Picture this year. Like I said, let me know what you think down below of these films. Really think it's a great year for film. There were a lot of other films that came out this year that maybe should have been nominated. Jackie's another one. Like I said, Silence, Sully. I know a lot of people were big on Deadpool. But that's film. It's subjective. Everybody likes something different. Oscars are this weekend, and a whole new year of film has already begun. So thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.